I love Dr. Pepper.
It's so easy when everybody's trying to please me, baby.
What's up, everybody? It's Zach, and I'm back after what's been a very, very, very long absence. Again, like before, whenever I would pull this shit, none of you would care, and that's okay. I'm just doing this because I feel like I have to get this story out here. Now, about this absence that none of you care about, I'm just going to explain what happened. I went through a little bit of a depression wave, things just weren't going my way in life, and I was just figuring, what was the point? I lost all motivation to do anything, and I essentially had to build myself back up. So in the meantime, I've been painting, I joined a band, I've been writing songs, I've been doing a whole bunch of different stuff, all to build up to me getting back to this, because that was one of my, that's one of my New Year's resolutions. Yeah, 2020, new year, new me. But I really wanted to get this YouTube channel back up because I wanted to do a bunch of fun stuff with this, like the best of the Midwest, which I'd still plan to continue to do. And as well as finish out this story of It's So Easy. Now, I want to give a special thanks to the In Your House podcast. Give them a special little look. I'll leave the link of where you can find them below. They're a bunch of really cool guys. I know one of the production guys on the team. Through him I befriended kind of the head guy on the show, Alakon House, who we're friends on Facebook, never really talked before. He's been putting in some work in his area every day on Facebook. It's just him, and this is an exaggeration, Alakon, if you're watching this. It's just him going, I'm getting this work, and I'm getting results, because I'm getting this work, yeah! And I was just like, if I want to get these results, I gotta get this work. So thank you, Alakon, and thank to the In Your House podcast for lack of a better term, is getting me up off my ass. Back to the It's So Easy story. So right now, just to keep the pace going, this is what I like to call making up for lost time. I'm going to go through, instead of going month by month, I'm going to blow through a bunch of months. Just so I can get this through and I can continue the story, because I want to get to the climax. So the climax is just something I really want to talk about. That way, if anybody wants to become a pro wrestler, if anyone wants to become a professional wrestling booker, promoter, this is just stuff to look out for, and you can't learn this unless you kind of experience it for yourself, or you hear from someone who had to go through it, like I did. So anyway, where we left off, we had our first TV taping, and we were just on the roll from that. We had a good relationship with the television station that I worked for, and we wanted to do more. So we just kept building stuff up. And while I'm doing this, I am also training to be a wrestler. I'm going through the moves. I'm learning hip tosses, arm drags, bumps, back bumps. I wanted to, I was trying to develop this character, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't like every other trash bag indie wrestler where I had like this dark, mysterious look, but I ended up going for a dark, mysterious look because, I fall into it just like everybody else does. I wasn't trying to become the next Undertaker or anything, more so the next Raven, which I guess everybody else wants to become. Everyone else wants to become the next Raven. Same way I'm training, and I'm ready to have my first match, and it's with Pogo. And Pogo treats me very well, and it's off from the races from there. Every month or so I travel, and I have a match. Most of the time it's Battle Royals, all while working up to this next big TV taping. I keep hearing word about this big TV taping, where they want to start doing it week by week. And I'm super excited about this, because this is something I get to do. This is something I get to build up myself. I wouldn't have to worry about the production guy at the TV station worry about it. I would just worry about this myself. A small fun little side note, at one of these shows, Grandmaster Sexay actually showed up. Brian Christopher, he was a fun guy to be around, and he played it cool. I guess he was watching some Tetsuya Naito tapes. It was around the time of like Wrestle Kingdom 12, where everyone was like, oh man, is Naito really gonna do it? And that Showbuckle video that came out about the fall and rise of Tetsuya Naito really helped get his story back up and running. Grandmaster Sexay Brian Christopher kept doing that thing where he would like go to lock up and he'd go under somebody. Maybe that wasn't a Tetsuya Naito thing. Maybe it was something from old Memphis. Who knows? I don't know. I never watched old school wrestling like that. I cut off at the 90s. That's where I'm at. I cut it off right there. But he was having some fun, really got the crowd into it. He was a really nice guy. He gave me a free autograph because I was wearing a Batman jersey because I did not have gear at the time because I was that poor. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to make an impact with your wrestling attire, make sure you're wearing a superhero-themed basketball jersey, matching colored basketball shorts, and a pair of nice old tennis shoes. But there was one day at training where I kind of took a bad, clothesline. Nothing really serious, but I didn't tuck my chin and I hit my head, slapped my head against the ground, and it was just a rough day of training anyway. I kept poking Pogo in the eye whenever I went to lock up with him, and it wasn't a good day. It wasn't a good day at the office, and I hit my head coming down on a clothesline, and I just thought to myself, being a booker sounds a whole lot funner and a whole lot safer for my body. Maybe not my mental capacity though, as I would soon find out. Anyway, I talked to Peter about it, and Peter goes, "Hey, if you want to help me out, you can definitely come to the shows and you can help make the card, and we can go from there." And I mentioned to him that I wanted to have like a big event where we would bring in someone big, like someone a little bit fresher. Brian Christopher's great and all, but I wanted to bring in someone fresh, someone that was really hot on the indie scene right at the time. That way we could bring in kind of a younger audience. I wanted to bring in a whole bunch of different demographics because the only demographic we were really covering at the time was the Gen X to Boomer crowd. So I wanted to focus on that. So I was trying to figure out who to book at the time. But anyway, we were heading to this big, we were getting ready for this big TV taping, and I was ready for it. I was ready. I was gonna have a match. I was going to commentate, and it was gonna be sweet. It was going to be sweet. But we get there, and I get to the venue, and the entire venue, I'm not kidding, orange lighting. It's in an old high school gym, and on video and in person, everything just looks orange. And I'm talking everything just looks straight orange. It looked so bad, and it took a whole lot of editing to make it look halfway decent. The one thing that really stuck out about that show is just that it just wasn't good. There were a lot of botches. I'm not here to call anybody out. I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus. But there were just a lot of botches, a lot of just bad wrestling, and it wasn't fun for me. It wasn't a good time for me. Even in my own match was pretty bad. I'll post my full match with my own commentary, because the commentary is absent through half of my match because the other commentator on my team decides to step away for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe she had to go to the bathroom. I don't know. But the commentary on my match is absent through half of the match. So I'll post my first full singles match that was ever caught on tape right there, and I'll give you a whole story about all of that. But yeah, it just wasn't good production wise either. We didn't have a good place to set up. The camera guy was at the very, very, very top of the bleachers, and even then it was really hard for him to get that good of a shot and capture everything. The second camera woman had a family emergency and had to leave mid-show. We had a big title change in the main event, and we didn't have a second camera for it. And we would have had this really, really cool shot with these tag team champions, and they would have had like this really, really sweet shot of them holding the tag team belts with a bunch of kids running up and giving them high fives, but she wasn't there, and it just kind of sucked that we didn't have that shot, and we just saw their asses as a closing shot. We just saw their big ol' asses at the end of the closing shot. Yeah, it was great. It was great. So that's been making up for lost time here on It's So Easy right here on my channel. I know this was kind of a boring episode. It was kind of a boring time to be in with my pro wrestling career, but I promise that the next few videos will be definitely a little bit more exciting. I'll make sure to post my very first untelevised match. It was filmed, not my very first filmed match, but first professionally filmed match that went untelevised because I said so, because I thought it was just that bad. It wasn't a fun time, and I'll post everything that led up to it all in the same video. It'll be a fun time. I'm going to be doing more Best in the Midwest. I'm going to be heading back to Bizarro Lucha in February for their show A Cold Dead Body in the Woods. Make sure you go to that show, and if you go to that show and if you see me, definitely say hi. I am a very personable person, and make sure you say hi to all the wrestlers. It's a very fun, safe place to go. It'll definitely be a fun time. Check out Bizarro Lucha in Indianapolis. If you like my videos, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to see videos similar to this one, shout out to Critical. These next few videos are going to be definitely a whole lot more fun to look at once I get enough B-roll to cover up this this dumb face of mine. Until next time, I'm Zach. I'll see you around.